Hi, Nikki Wyatt, Karma Coach. This is part two of a rose essence, two rose essence videos I'm doing about the healing power of roses and how they work on our heart exclusively, really. That is the area that they want to heal and they're meant to heal. And why we probably give each other roses to say, I love you, because we instinctively know they are all about love, roses. And in some ways, I feel we go through life and we have, knocks and wounds and things happen to us and it's painful and we maybe don't get to express it properly. And all this sort of unfinished emotional business ends up in our heart. And rather like our body physically will create a cyst around an infection it can't release to stop it from going into our bloodstream and getting around the rest of our body. I sometimes see in people's hearts these sort of energy cysts where something painful's happened and they haven't been able to deal with it or release it. And so it's kind of formed this little energy cyst. And when you take rose essences particularly, they will dissolve those kind of walls around the painful memory and they will just be allowed to release. So you might get a momentary flashback or a sudden sense of sorrow or a painful feeling, but it will go fairly quickly if you just don't resist it, don't try and analyze it, don't try and remember where that came from. Just let it all flow out as you take these rose essences, because there is nothing more wonderful than having a whole healed heart. It's kind of why we've come in, really, to create that for ourselves. So I finished the last rose essence video with talking about peace rose, and now I'm going to move on to perdita rose, which is all about releasing shame. So if you and that includes not just shame that you might be feeling for yourself from this childhood experiences or even adult experiences, but also shame that gets passed down through our ancestral line. To be honest, shame is such a horrible emotion that it is one of the most common ones that we do pass on unwittingly down the generations, because we don't know how to deal with it, and it is so unpleasant, and it often comes from keeping secrets because something feels taboo or unspeakable. And therefore, it's one of the most common emotions to show up when you do ancestral healing. And I would say it goes beyond feeling you've done something wrong. It feels shame comes up when you feel it's just being yourself is wrong. Just being you, just being here is wrong. And you want the ground to swallow up, and you want to disappear and hide because just you and your identity is shameful. So it is really a very, very worthwhile emotion to heal, because it will really change things. It's an absolute game changer when you can release shame. And that includes things like loss of dignity and any kind of limitation that might have been put on you, or persecution that might have been put on you as a child or in your ancestral line. And what happens when you take Perdita Rose is it brings back dignity, it brings back self-respect, it enables you to stand tall, be confident, and just radiate who you are and be proud of that. So a wonderful one, I think, that one. And the next one is Regensburg Rose. Regensburg is a really good one if you're at a bit of a crossroads in your life, you're not quite sure what to do next, or there's a situation going on and you don't know how to resolve it. Because what Regensburg Rose does is it aligns your heart with your higher chakras. So the wisdom that is in your heart and coming through your crown can connect with each other, and you will find that you are able to allow your heart to give you the answers that you need to resolve, to find a solution that works. So it's a really good one if you are looking for to move beyond your old ways of reacting to things and find a new response, and write a new story for yourself. Regensburg Rose is excellent for that. The next one is Rosa de la Haye. This is also in some ways about decision making, in the sense that it also connects you more to your higher guidance, and it helps you become much more present. It is the kind of USP of this particular rose essence. It connects the crown and the heart, and also so your heart is able to understand what your soul is trying to say and express. And it helps you to feel a lot more present, a lot more engaged in your life, and much more certain of the direction you're taking. And more than anything, it helps you to relax into the flow of life. So you stop resisting and you are able to relax and let the universe support you going forward so that you feel more like you're swimming with the current and not against it. The next one is Ruby Red Rose. This is also quite a favorite of mine. It's a fantastic essence if you are feeling self-critical, if you are feeling sad or you're regretting something or you're feeling guilty. The rose is one of, it comes in on the ruby red ray of forgiveness, which is one of the rays of creation. And it corresponds to Christ consciousness. So it is a really, really powerful frequency, and it will help to dissolve any kind of emotional pain that you're carrying, and help you to accept and to forgive yourself for anything that you've done or thought or anything that needs forgiveness. Ruby Red Rose will help you to accept that and to let go of it. And it helps you, therefore, at the end of it, when you've taken it for a while, you'll find you just feel a lot more comfortable in your own skin, and you are able to feel really full of compassion for yourself, for other people, and all that stuff that you were worrying about and feeling bad about. You can just let go of it and move on when you take this one. Um, the next one is Sun-Blessed Rose, which perhaps by its name indicates the color. It's a bright yellow, beautiful bright yellow, one of my favorite roses. And it's a marvelous one to take when life is challenging. Sun-Blessed Rose will fill you with courage. So if you're feeling really scattered and you've kind of moved away from your center because you've started to focus on all these things around you that are happening and you've lost any sense of yourself, Sun-Blessed Rose is great for bringing you back to that strong core that does actually know what to do. If you can just take a moment and focus and take Sun-Blessed Rose, and you will find that you are back in your strong core, and you feel much more determined, much more resilient, no matter what's going on around you. And you will feel brave enough to make the choices you need to make, no matter what is happening. And the final one in the single rose selection is Webiana, Rosa Webiana. This originally, I mean, it grows all over the UK and other places now, but originally it grew in India, Nepal, the Himalayas, and China. As you can imagine, those are very high frequency areas. So it is a very, very high frequency essence, and it will particularly help you if you want to do multi-dimensional work. So if you want to move between visible and invisible realms, if you want to channel information from higher frequencies, this is a brilliant rose essence to take. Will really help to open you up to much higher wisdom. And it's probably a good one also if you like to do things like shamanic journeying and stuff that takes you between different dimensions and timelines. So that's the end of the single rose essences. And now I'm just going to talk for a moment about the four blends that Crystal Herbs have created. One is called Awakening the Heart. This will dissolve any pain or sorrow. It's a combination of four particular roses, and it will help you to let your guard down, the kind of wall that you might have built around your heart, so that you can move forward with a much more open heart, with much more love and joy. The next one is Heartfelt Forgiveness. So this is all about helping you to dissolve any feelings of judgment so that you can forgive yourself, forgive others, move forward much more in your heart, and much more able to just accept yourself, accept others, and feel more part of everything. Because as soon as we judge others, we separate ourselves. So it also helps you feel much more like you belong and you're part of things. The third one is Purity of Heart, and this is really good for releasing any feelings of not being worthy, not being deserving. If you have a lot of shame, if you know you're carrying shame, if you've got fear coming up or anger, anything that's a bit difficult to deal with, strong emotions around those areas, then this is really an excellent essence to take. It will transmute experiences of abuse, particularly, whether that's in your life or just coming down to you from an ancestor or a past life memory. It will really help you to deal with that and let go of that so you no longer feel victimized. Um, and the final fourth blend is called unconditional love, which I mean doesn't get better than that. Um, this allows your heart basically to just fully open. It's going in there, and it's you are affirming as you take it really with unconditional love. This is how I want to live my life. I want to live a life of unconditional love with a whole heart. And as I said before, I think that is what we come here to do, um, or to learn to do. Um, and finally, there is a spray, and this is a mix of six different single roses, and it's one of the latest creations from Crystal Herbs. I love it. I've used it a lot with lots of people during coaching and workshops, and it really helps to move you from duality thinking of kind of us, them, or polarities where you're flipping from one emotion to the opposite one, or you have very black and white thinking, or one minute you're manic, the next minute you're feeling really depressed. Um, these these are all this is all the kind of old way of being in a way, and what we're trying to move into now is much more unity consciousness. So that's what this spray is for, to help you move much more into a sense of unity, a sense of being part of everything, so that you are connected to nature, the cosmos, the planet, and every other human being and animals and other sentient life forms on the planet. Um, and the way I use it also a lot in my work is it's very helpful if you have some part of you that you've rejected or abandoned, because that was what was necessary at the time. Something happened, and that part of you was left behind, and has been trying to get your attention, perhaps by making you, I don't know, ill or unhappy, or giving you a trigger every time something's said or something happens or a situation arises, and you don't know why. And that's often a part of you that just needs your attention. And if you take loving acceptance, that allows that part of you to finally be noticed and to come into your attention, and for you to accept it, and then that's why it's called loving acceptance, to accept that part of you that's scared or needed attention at some point and didn't get it, and to bring that into your heart and to integrate that. And that will allow you to be much more wholehearted, and it will release you from being endlessly triggered, or feeling a feeling over and over again that you just don't understand where it's coming from. So that's me on rose essences and roses and the wonderful healing power of roses. I do hope that's encouraged you to explore them, because I think they are amazing. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.